Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of Player versus Team, aka PVT. And y'all already know it's your boy, your main man, the main host, Mulich. I'm here by myself tonight. No Willie, no DJ Micah B. Um, both got some things kind of going on right now. So if you are into those kind of things, please send thoughts and prayers out to one DJ Micah B. He was admitted to the hospital earlier today, dealing with a little bit of high blood pressure, so nothing too serious. But if you can keep him in your thoughts and prayers, like I said, if you are into that kind of thing, I don't want to assume anybody's religion, then go ahead and send those out his way. No Willie tonight as well. I think he's dealing with some other things. Also, he lives on the East Coast, so it is kind of late for him over there. I'm on the West Coast, so you'll know how that goes. But we are here nonetheless. They're here in spirit. I'm here in person. So we're going to go ahead and get to it. Starting off with just a few little talking points here. Starting off, Florida wins the national championship. Florida men's basketball, that is, they won the national championship. Back on top, first win, I think, since 2008, I believe. Now, normally I would get, you guys know, the boys or the fellas reaction. But since nobody's here today, y'all going to hear me yap a little bit. So this is what we're going to do. All right, so like I said, y'all gonna hear me yap a little bit. Sorry, I'm also in full on dad mode, so there's that. Close victory for Florida, 65-63 over the Houston Cougars. No, like I said, I normally would get the fellas opinions on this, but just looking at the game, Houston had the lead basically the whole game. Squandered the lead at the end. I honestly thought they would pull it out. Main reason being is because looking at the Duke game, Houston coming up really big, shooting really, really good from 3 point. Also playing some really good defense. I thought that they would be able to maintain that type of energy to kind of hold it out. But hey, Florida showed some fight, and they pulled out the victory. So shout out to them boys. I do think that it was just kind of a bad game for Houston. I don't want to necessarily chalk this up as the end all be all of their season. I just think that they chose the wrong day to have a bad game, and a lot of Florida players had chose the right day to have a good game. I know everybody was expecting, a really big game from Will Clayton Jr., but or Walter Clayton Jr. Sorry, but okay game from him. He was kind of struggling, especially from three. But I think the player of the game, Will Richard, 18 points, 4 from 7 from 3, 8 rebounds, just all around doing it. Can't ignore that. So shout out to him. LJ Cryer, of course, we all know the baller that he is. Unfortunately, couldn't do it all by himself. Nobody else on the Houston team had double digits. So rough outing for them. Still, came up 2 points short. So we'll see what happens next year. We'll get back to men's in just a second. I got to flip over to the women's side. Of course, we've seen UConn defeat South Carolina in the national championship. UConn, again, is at the top of the pinnacle of women's college basketball. Now, I do think, however, I know everybody's seen the game, or at least I hope people seen the game, but I know a lot of people watch the game, and I know a lot of people have their thoughts because of the margin of victory. But that's not necessarily like I said, an end all be all about Don Staley and the Lady Gamecocks. I think that UConn just had a way more stacked team this year. Sarah Strong, Aziz Fudd, or AZ Fudd, Paige Beckers, of course. So I do think that as far as teams go, UConn was just a lot deeper, right? And when you have two seniors in, and AZ and Paige, of course, leading the way. Paige was 17. AZ went absolutely bonkers from the field, not necessarily from three, but from the field in general, 24 points. But with the strong inside play of Sarah Strong, just her absolutely dominating on the inside, 24 points, 15 boards, 5 assists. She led the team in assists as well. Like, you can't ignore that type of work. And she's only a freshman, right? So I think when you look at that, you pair that with the dynamic play of the seniors, I think you're in for something special, especially going into the future. As far as the Gamecocks go, we know, of course, we got Raven. I think she said that she should be returned to Tiana Pow Pow. Of course, she's going to be leaving, going on to the draft. But they still are relatively young, though, and I think that's the best thing about South Carolina is that they're still relatively young. They have a really young team. You still got Malaysia Wiley coming back. Like I say, Raven Johnson, she's only a junior. I do think that they're supposed to be losing somebody. I have to look in the reports on that, but they should be returning a lot of their team, not to mention some of the recruits that they're supposed to be getting as well. So with that being said, we can expect, South Carolina to still be competitive and still be at the top. With Geno and UConn, obviously UConn, major powerhouse in the basketball world, both on the men's side and the girls' side. The women's side. So we can automatically expect them to come back, especially with the strong presence of Sarah Strong. I do believe that, they're going to get KK Arnold back, who right? 9 points in the national championship game, 3 for 3, right? So she's, starting to come into her own, starting to be really strong. I think both these teams are going to be really formidable coming back next season. So that should be really, really exciting to watch and to see. But shout out to UConn. Shout out to Paige. I know that winning the national championship is one of her milestones, one of the big goals for her before leaving the college basketball world. So glad that she was able to get that. Also, shout out to the Florida men's being able to, reach the pinnacle of college basketball. It's definitely not hard, especially with the environment. So shout out to them boys over there. And just looking at both the game, both teams didn't shoot, well from three on the women's side. If you're looking at the men's side, as far as three goes, I would say that this was probably the worst game from three that Houston has had, and even Florida didn't shoot that much better. So I think these games were really just won on the inside. They realized that they had to take away the three ball, take away the perimeter, but they found other ways to get it going. So shout out to both those teams. Shout out to both of them, both those coaches, and we shall see what happens going forward. Now, when it comes to the question that everybody's asking, is Cooper Flagg returning to Duke? What happened to Duke, the meltdown, et cetera, et cetera. Now, as a Duke Blue Devil fan, I was disappointed to see them not win. Yet again, getting eliminated in a round after the Sweet 16, whether that be the Elite Eight, whether that be the Final Four, whether that be in the Sweet 16. It's disappointing to see Duke with another stacked team taking an early loss and not at least compete for a national championship. So the main question in everybody's mind is, who's returning to Duke, and will they be competitive again, or are they poised to have to basically reset because they have a lot of guys that have some NBA talent, right? Cooper Flagg, obviously everybody's looking to see what he's going to do. You got Colin Knippel, who's a really, really strong three-point shooter, really, really solid rebounder as well. So with those two guys, we'll see how Duke seems to retain. Of course, you got Proctor, the young kid who everybody's been talking about, everybody's been raging about. He's going into his senior season, so we'll see exactly what happens with him. But I think if they wanted to be that team to kind of take it upon themselves to be one of those guys to where it's like, we're going to be the guys to win, right? Like, I understand that you got the Floridas, you got the Houstons, you got the Alabamas, right? But a lot of these guys are going to be leaving to the NBA in this coming up draft. So I think and even some Duke players as well, but I think a lot of guys should take the Fab Five mentality and basically take on the moniker of we're going to win one together, right? Like a Villanova, like I said, Fab Five. The Fab Five ultimately didn't win one, and they lost to Duke. Excuse me. But I think a lot of guys should take that mentality on to not only develop more in college, but just to develop that more team, more camaraderie kind of competition level mindset that they're going to need going into the NBA. So as a Duke Blue Devil fan, I do hope that, Flagg returns. Obviously, it is his decision and it is his career, but, I do think that him, Proctor, Knippel, I do think that they have magic, man. You know what I mean? Knippel's, he's young, he's just a freshman, but there's that one and done rule. So I do think that we'll see. I do hope that they do return, because this is probably one of the most competitive college basketball March Madnesses as far as the men's side that I've seen in a while. Wasn't a lot of blowouts, a lot of close games. So I do think that, or I do hope that those boys decide to stay so we can keep it competitive, honestly. In other news, kind of the main things I really wanted to talk about, just go over the national championship game, Duke, Houston, Florida, UConn, South Carolina. I wanted to just get everybody's thoughts, or just get my thoughts out about that. We have a few kind of picks, or a few kind of news that kind of dropped in within the last hour. As we know, the Warriors lost last night against the Spurs. Crazy loss, disappointing loss, especially if you're a Warrior fan like I am. So I'm pretty sure that they're probably going to be solidified and locked in at the 7th spot, which is unfortunate because just how grueling the play-in is. So hopefully they get everything together. And looking at this game right now that I'm watching with Memphis and Minnesota, if Minnesota can pull this out, they'll probably be solidified at 8, which means that the Warriors would see them in the playing round. But if Minnesota hopefully loses, then the Warriors should have the tiebreaker. And maybe if Memphis loses, the Warriors would probably move up. I don't know how that works, just looking at the division, but we'll see how that pans out. Let's see. News that dropped today. The NFL passes the $23 billion. Let me see. Yeah, NFL revenue reportedly passes $23 billion in the latest fiscal year. Teams to receive $416 million, which is almost a 9% jump from last year's $382 million, which means that a lot of teams should have a lot more cap space to work with. So be on the lookout for that. Teams to be looking to add a lot more talent because they have a lot more money to work with. Switching to baseball, the MLB has also discussed adding a salary floor in the next CBA. Of course, the players are opposed because we all know baseball money is different. So we'll definitely be monitoring that. The A's are officially breaking ground in Vegas, and they say that they are supposed to be underway in June 2026 as far as the current reports go. So if all goes well, the Las Vegas A's will be in Vegas and have their first home game in June of 2026. So we will definitely be on the lookout for that. With the draft coming up in the NFL, Cam Ward, obviously, Shador Sanders, Ashton Jeanty, Travis Hunter, all in the reports, all in the talks of who will be going number 1. I think it's probably solidified with Cam Ward, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody ended up taking Travis Hunter first just to kind of shake up the draft. But a lot of pro days, a lot of interviews have been happening as of today, as of this week. So we will keep an eye on that coming up on draft day, because we understand that draft day is going to be very, very different. It's probably going to be one of the most craziest drafts that we have seen in a while. Now, looking at the current NBA playoff picture, like I said, the Warriors are probably going to be solidified at 7, depending on how this game goes tonight and how the season finishes up. Right now, we have Sacramento at 9. The Mavericks are at 10. Like I said, Golden State at 7. Timberwolves at 8. OKC obviously at 1. Rockets are at 2. Lakers are at 3. The Nuggets are at 4, Clippers are at 5, and the Memphis Grizzlies are at 6. That is the west side. On the east side, we have the Bulls at 9, Miami at 10, um, Orlando at 7, and the Hawks at 8. Number 1, of course, solidifies the Cavs, even though they took a loss today. Number 2 is Boston. Number 3, the Knicks. Number 4, the Pacers, crazily enough, also took a win today, beat the Cavs, ironically enough. 5 are the Bucks, no Dame Lillard. 6, the Detroit Pistons. Detroit Pistons have made a top 6 seed and are probably guaranteed to go to the playoffs, no playing. Crazily enough, crazy how a coach and a change of atmosphere can change the team around like that. Looking at some other news, there are 4 NBA or WNBA teams that are poised to trade up for Paige Beckers. We will see which NBA teams those are. I believe the Chicago Sky are one of those teams because they have not signed, or because Kennedy Carter has not resigned yet, and they do need a scoring type of guard. And I think Paige Beckers would fit great on that team, along with an Angel Reese and a Camila Cardoso. You pair those two bigs up with Paige Beckers, and I think you have magic coming in Chicago. That's just me. We'll see what happens, though. Also, be on the lookout for the Aces to trade up because we all know that Chelsea Gray is getting up there in age. We understand that the emergence of Jackie Young is amazing, but they may be looking for another backup guard to kind of fill their role whenever Chelsea Gray is off the court, because we know she is a lot. She is a vet in the league, and she deals with a lot of knee injuries or a lot of knee problems as well as others injuries. So we'll definitely keep our eye on that one as well. The MLB season has started off. A lot of teams have started off hot. The Giants are one of the teams that everybody has been raving about as of recently. Looking at some early league standings, as far as we have a rain delay right now, Phillies and Braves, so that game's probably going to end up finishing up tomorrow morning. But looking at some early standings, as far as baseball goes, I know we do have a large baseball following. Of course, my A's are in last place with a 5-8 record. Not too bad early on in the season, but we'll see how that goes. As of right now, those are divisionals. As of right now, in the AL, we have Texas, the Rangers, looking at taking that number 1 spot. 6-1 at home, 3-3 away. And Los Angeles Angels, ironically left in number 2. Crazy. New York Yankees sitting at 4, 7-5, 4-2 at home, 3-3 away. So keep an eye on that. We have San Diego in the National League, starting off hot, 10-3. 7-0 at home, 3-3 away. Now, we understand the Padres and what the team is. We understand that they are not a playoff team whatsoever, so we'll keep an eye on them just to see how they kind of shit the bed later on in the season. Frisco is taking at the number 2 spot, 9-3, 4-2 at home, 5-1 away. They have really played really, really well and away environments, so hopefully they can keep that up. The Dodgers are sitting at 3, 6-0 at home, 4-4 away, struggling away, but they have a really, really locked in at home. Of course, we understand how the Dodgers are, and then we have Philly locked in at number 4, 8-3, 5-1 at home, 3-2 away. Now, when it comes to baseball, we understand that the season is long, so a lot of these teams, a lot of these spots will not be solidified, so we definitely keep an eye on that one as well. The WWE is poised to have an event, or events, I guess I should say. It's going to be a 2-day event. One for the ages, April 19th and April 20th. It's going to be WrestleMania. So if you haven't booked your tickets, if you haven't, sectioned out your space in the couch, go ahead and do that now. This event should be crazy. We have a lot of crazy events kind of adding up. Gunther and Jey Uso, a triple threat with Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair and Evo Sky. Just a whole bunch of stuff, that's going to be kicking off and going on. So make sure you guys tune in for that one. UFL action This weekend again, I don't know if anybody's been watching the UFL, but it has been thoroughly entertaining, if I may say so myself. Week 3 action, we got the Renegades and the Stallions coming on tomorrow, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I don't know what you guys are anywhere else in the world. Renegades and the Stallions. Then on Saturday, we have a Roughnecks and Showboat at 11 a.m. or 11:30 a.m. We have Sunday 2 games, 9 a.m. game with the Brahmas and the Panthers, and we finish off at a 12 p.m. game, afternoon game or noon game on ABC. Defenders, Battlehawks. We'll see how that all those two turn out to be, and then circling around to the final UFC, we got Volkanovski versus Lopez. The vacated featherweight belt up for grabs. We'll see if Volk can secure another belt, and we'll see if the young kid Lopez can become a first-time champion. Now, wasn't going to be here for long. Obviously, don't got the guys here to kind of go back and forth. Just kind of wanted to drop in, give a couple sports updates, and peace out. Make sure you guys tune in to Inside the Huddle tomorrow, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. So put us on before you go out and get all your ratchet activities on. If you're over here on the West Coast, put us on. You still got time before, you know what I'm saying, you go out, get all the drinking and stuff like that. Make sure you guys tap in with the rest of the show throughout the rest of the week. Monday, basket, of course. Wednesday, gentlemen's talk. Try to make an appearance. It's football season, but I got practice on Wednesday, so y'all got to bear with me. I know the Infinity Gauntlet will be fully commenced, will be fully constructed really, really soon. Trust me. Thursday, you already know, circling back PVT, and then Friday, Inside the Huddle. Make sure you guys tap in on Saturdays with my boy, the co-host, Willie, with the Geek Gauntlet podcast. Everything, nerds, video game, comics, etc., movies, music, all of that. And we will see y'all next week. Girl, you rockin' like